On the set of The Outlaw Josie Wales, the cameras were not rolling, but the most powerful moment of the entire film was about to happen as Chief Dan George was reading his script when he suddenly tapped the page and looked up to say loud enough for the whole crew to hear, "If you expect me to speak words that insult my people, I will walk off this set right now." And the room froze while Clint Eastwood looked up from his seat. The writers stared and the producers held their breath, because the line George objected to was not just sloppy writing, it was a stereotype, the kind Hollywood had asked him to play far too many times. And this page crossed a line he refused to tolerate. And when a producer pulled him aside to soften him up by saying the budget was tight and he was not the lead and they could not rewrite everything, George did not blink and said, "Then replace me," and silence fell again until Eastwood finally asked him, "All right, Chief, what should the line be?" And George rewrote it right there quietly and clearly from live truth rather than Hollywood fantasy. And Eastwood nodded and said, "Print it," even as the producer still fought it. But George refused to budge, and he won. And from that moment on, the entire set changed as actors began asking him how to avoid false portrayals. Writers refused to hand him dialogue without checking with him first, and Eastwood later admitted the film was stronger because of George. Although the real fight came later when a studio publicist drafted a promotional line describing Chief Dan George as a real-life relic of the Old West. And when George read it, he refused to do any publicity until it was removed, saying, "I am an actor and a chief, not a museum exhibit." And the line was deleted, and the publicist apologized, and George attended the premiere with his head held high. And years later, young Indigenous actors said he opened doors for them, not with speeches or protests, but by telling the truth in rooms where everyone preferred the costume. And today, most fans remember his gentleness, his humor, and his wisdom on screen. But the real story is that Chief Dan George did not just act, he corrected Hollywood. He protected the dignity of his people, and he refused to let anyone, even a studio, write their story for them. And that is not a performance, that is courage.